As film production starts getting back to work, there's quite a bit of uncertainty. Being on set, by its very nature, involves a lot of people in a confined space. We need to adapt to the changing landscape so we can get back to doing what we love while ensuring that everyone is safe. We're going to show you how to use Creative Solutions products to create a remote offset monitoring workflow. First, let's touch on what a remote offset monitoring workflow looks like. Basically, it's the ability to send a high-quality, low-latency video feed from anywhere in the world. This could be used at any phase of the production process, like a pre-pro location scout, a producer watching the on-set camera feed from a remote location, or a post workflow where an editor can stream directly from the edit bay monitors. There's a lot of flexibility to curate the right setup for your production needs. Now that we know what remote offset monitoring is, let's take a look at the workflow and see how we set it up in a practical application. Alright, the first thing we'll need to do is set up our encoder. Today we're going to be using the Teradek Cube 655. It's an incredibly versatile encoder that gives us a lot of freedom. Alright, let's start getting it set up. We're going to do that by navigating the menu on the OLED display. We'll grab the encoder and press the menu button and toggle all the way down to Network Setup, Wi-Fi, Status. The reason we're using Wi-Fi is because we have a strong Wi-Fi connection in our studio, but you can also use Ethernet. If you don't have either of these accessible, you can use what's called a Teradek node, which is a cellular modem with high gain antennas, allowing your cube to utilize cellular data to transmit your feed. You simply connect it to your cube via USB. It's a great tool to have in your arsenal. If you're working in a space that doesn't have great Wi-Fi and you need even more firepower, we recommend the Teradek Bond Backpack, which gives you unprecedented signal strength by aggregating up to 4 nodes to ensure you never lose your stream. We're going to get back to our cube, but if you are following along to set up a Bond Backpack, the process is very similar, so stick around and we'll walk you through the setup. So we can see here the Wi-Fi network name and the IP address. First, we're going to connect our laptop to the network Terranet-02611. Then we're going to open up a web browser and go to the IP address 172.16.1.1. And it's going to log us into the cube. So this is called the Web UI, and the Web UI is going to allow us to locally configure or make changes to our device, the cube. When I say locally, it means that we have to physically be by the cube. We couldn't be in another city and make these changes. That's called remote configuration, and there's a different setup for that, which we'll get into later on. So now that we're on the Web UI, we need to set up the cube to use Wi-Fi. We're basically going to take it off of the ad hoc network that it's creating, the Terranet 02611, and put it on an existing network via a router. So in the Web UI, we'll go down to Network Interfaces, then Wi-Fi, and Modify. And we're going to change it from access point mode to client mode. We'll click browse. If you don't see your network right away, go ahead and hit refresh. That should bring it up. We'll connect to our network CSLA devices, which has internet access. Then type in the password and hit apply. So now it says, please connect to wireless network CSLA devices, meaning we need to connect our computer to the network. We'll go on up here to our Wi-Fi and select CSLA devices. This will log us out of the Web UI and we'll have to reconnect. Basically, what you'll do is grab your cube and toggle the menu button back to Wi-Fi, where you'll see the new IP address for the Web UI. Then you'll re-enter that IP address into your browser and it'll log you back in. So this page won't look much different from before, the only difference being that our cube is now connected to the internet via a Wi-Fi router. Next, we're going to set up our cube with Core so we can do things like remote configuration, multi-destination delivery, and Core TV. First, we'll go down here to Cloud Services. We have the options of None or Core. We'll select Core. Then we'll go ahead and sign in. It will then prompt us which company to connect to. We're going to connect to test 4. Then it will apply our settings. Okay, now we're connected to Core, so we'll go on over to Core and check things out. If you don't already have a Core account, you'll need to go to corecloud.tv and get one set up. Once you set up your account, you'll go ahead and sign in. Once you've logged in, it will bring you to the Core dashboard and a list of your workspaces. We'll go up here to My Companies and select our company. All right, so we can see now that our cube is here on this default page. So now what we'd like to do is create a workspace. So workspace is just a great way to stay organized and control who sees what feed. We'll click the plus bar up here to create our workspace. We'll call it onset day 1 and hit save. So now we see that our workspace is empty. What we'll want to do is add a source. So this window will appear and we'll hit add sources. At the bottom, it will then show all of our sources for Core. We only have the Cube 655, so we'll click on that. We'll exit out of the window, and now we can see that our cube lives in our onset day 1 workspace. Now that our cube is configured and ready to go, we're going to attach it to our camera and then move to our final step of setting up our destinations. Now we're going to set up our cube decoder with our small HD production monitor. It's a very similar process to the encoder setup. They even look very similar. To distinguish the two, the decoder is marked with an RX and the encoder with a TX. Since the setup for the encoder and the decoder are so similar, we're gonna speed through the process. Just a broad overview. We're gonna locate the network name and IP address on the front of our decoder. We'll then connect our computer to the network and input the IP address into our browser to access the web UI. Next, we're gonna connect our decoder to the internet via a router and then connect our computer to the same network. We'll then connect our decoder to Core through the web UI using the same steps we used for the encoder. And now we can see our decoder is up and running in Core. Next, we'll need to connect our encoder to our decoder. We'll go to the main dashboard and open up our workspace tab, onset day 1, and click to add decoder. Then we'll see our decoder, click it, see link becomes highlighted, click that, and exit. All right, now our cubes are good to go. If you're familiar, it's very similar to the pairing process of a Teradek bolt. As long as our cubes have internet access and video coming in, the encoder will pass video to the decoder without having to configure anything else. Next, we're going to walk you through the process of setting up our destinations to Core TV on our mobile devices. First, make sure you're in the workspace you've created. We'll click on these 3 little dots here and select Share. So this allows us to share our workspace. What's great about this is whoever you want to share your workspace with doesn't need a Core account. They just need an email address, the Core TV app, and a mobile device, as the Core TV app is only available on mobile devices. We'll type in the email address and hit share, and now Creative Solutions Los Angeles has access. If you have multiple people you need to grant access to, you just add them here, and what's great is you can add as many as you'd like. So on the receiving end, they grab their tablet, search for Core TV in the App Store, and hit download. Once downloaded, they will open the app. First, they will input their email address, then they'll go over to their email account, and that is where they will find the code to access the shared workspace. Once in their email, they will see a message from their good friend Teradek. Click on that and then scroll down to see the top secret code, IQ77M. So just to give a little more context to this code, it's essentially a unique PIN that allows access for a specified email address. The reason for that is so you can control exactly who has access to the feed. They would then go back to the login screen and enter the code, and now they have access to the feed. If they click on it and hit play, they will see the high resolution, low latency feed as it lives in Core TV. The exact same process can be used for a cell phone, and there we go, 2 beautiful feeds coming in on Core TV. So it's our hope that this gives you a good idea of the possibilities with remote offset monitoring, and you get a good visual of where it might fit into your workflow throughout the production process. Our whole goal in this is to make your production safe without compromising on quality. As filmmakers and content creators, we're a community. We want to see our industry get back on its feet and return stronger than ever before. It's time to start creating again. We're back in.